Will Harry have a home when he ends his Japan and Singapore non-royal tour? It was quite noticeable that none of the royal Japan family mentioned his visit to Japan. But here we are now. U.S. Rep. Greg Steube introduces SPARE Act to require fair enforcement of our nation's visa laws. You know, you know that laws are created when the need arises, right? It's basically a law is created because there's a need for it, because clearly there are already visa requirements in order to be able to obtain a visa as a resident or to enter the United States of America, which are clearly being ignored because of Harry's royal title and privilege. Permanently bars aliens from the U.S. if they knowingly provided false information on their visa application regarding controlled substance use. Now, this part is important because to me, I think they know that Harry lied on his visa. Somebody must have some form of information that Harry lied on his visa application because they're being very, very specific about this. Washington U.S. Representative Greg Steube, he's a Republican from Florida, introduced the substance and possession abuse restrictions for entrance, very aptly named SPARE in honor of Harry's book, Act to require fair enforcement of our nation's visa laws. Under U.S. law, visa applicants who are found to be drug abusers or addicts are inadmissible, as well as non-citizens who admit to using controlled substances. This is very important because there is already a federal law about that. You can't get a visa in the format. And then if you're caught admitting once you're inside the United States, which I've been talking about for the longest time, they kick you out. You might even go to prison before they kick you out. So this is going to be a joyful ride for Harry. Keep in mind that you shouldn't think of this bill, oh, this is a Republican bill, this is a Democrat bill. This is a bill that's pointing out the inequality of the application of law. And I know what you're going to say, oh, Paula, rich people always get away with stuff. But this time, Harry took it too far because he shouldn't have bragged about his drug use, being a drug use, and endorse the drugs. Remember I've been telling you about that I didn't understand why he wasn't being called out. Yes, if he lied in the application, he should be barred permanently, but also the fact that he admits still doing drugs and endorses them. So the bill continues. The Biden administration deliberately refuses to enforce our country's immigration laws at the southern border, and it appears they may be obstructing the fair and equal enforcement of our visa laws as well. Left-wing celebrities like Prince Harry, who have a self-recorded history of illegal drug use, should be subjected to the same standards and enforcement of our country's immigration laws as any other alien, said Representative Steube. I introduced the SPARE Act because individuals should be deported immediately if they are caught lying on their visa application. If the executive branch is granting waivers on the basis of drug usage to individuals who enter the U.S., that information should not be hidden from the public. We must ensure no one receives preferential treatment behind closed doors. In other words, Harry's screwed. What's going to be interesting is if they kick Harry out, I wonder if that's going to create any friction between the United Kingdom and the United States of America, because Harry is hiding behind his royal title and the fact that his father is the head of state. But that should not have any impact if he's breaking blatantly the law and bragging about it. Is this why he wants to go live in Japan? Okay, the SPARE Act, basically, it's used should be used. Basically, what the Representative Steuben is saying is that if immigration is still refusing to respect the law, as is the federal law in regards to immigration, this act should be, like a second option. The SPARE Act requires that within 60 days of receiving credible information of an alien knowingly providing false information on controlled substance violations, the DHS secretary will be required to investigate the claim and, if found true, initiate deportation. The legislation states anyone deported from this violation will be permanently barred from re-entering the country. Lastly, any controlled substance violation waivers issued by the Secretary of Homeland Security may be subject to a Freedom of Information Act request. Oh, that's not good for Harry, is it? It's great for Meghan, because if Harry gets deported and he is permanently barred from the United States, from entering the United States again, that means that it makes it a hell of a lot easier for her to stay in the United States, and for Harry not to annoy her in the custody issues. They're going to be a nightmare for the children, because if it's something like that, Harry automatically won't have custody of the kids, because he'd be found guilty. He'd be a felon, pretty much, because that's a felony. The background is basically, why is this act necessary in spite of the fact that there's already a federal law? But why is this act necessary? This is the background for this law. Congress has a long history of prolonging the let me see what it says here. Prolonging the entry of individuals who commit control. Oh no, sorry. Congress has a long history of prohibiting the entry of individuals who commit controlled substances violations. However, the executive branch has some discretionary authority to grant waivers to admit individuals who have admitted to such violations. Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, admitted to using cocaine, magic mushrooms, marijuana, and ayahuasca in his memoir, Spare. The Biden administration's Department of Homeland Security is currently refusing to release the details of Prince Harry's U.S. visa applications. In other words, they're protecting him. They're covering up for him. And to me, this SPARE Act is like the 1776 revolution. And it's stupid because, no, not the act itself, but it's stupid that for Harry and the Biden administration, that they are getting themselves into a corner, because now if this passes, which will likely pass, it's going to be really, really tough for Harry and for people like Harry to get away with it. You know what I've been telling you? People say, oh, but Justin Bieber said it. Yeah, but Justin Bieber didn't go on a world privacy tour bragging about his drug use, not only in the United Kingdom, but while he was with the visa in the United States, because in his book Spare, he talks about rolling joints outside of Tyler Perry's home and elsewhere. It is. So he was basically saying, I'm untouchable, I'm entitled, nobody's going to do anything to me, because he's used to no consequences. But the United States is the worst place for Harry to be there. And if Donald Trump wins, Meghan is going to be in a lot of trouble. Not only Harry, because Meghan has been unlawfully using a royal title to lobby Congress people, to lobby politicians, which is not allowed in the United States. I am so looking forward to your comments in this video, beautiful people. Do you think he'll be deported? I told people 2023 and the internet and arrogance is going to be the downfall of everybody. Nobody is going to be spared, not even Harry. What do you think?